Frank landed in the hospital twice in 1 year, once in the spring, once in the fall. Both times he paid the Medicare hospital deductible, a little over $1,700 each time. When the second bill came, he was sure it was a mistake. He'd already paid his deductible for the year, hadn't he? That's how deductibles work. But not this one. The Medicare hospital deductible doesn't run on a calendar the way almost everyone assumes. And that quiet difference is how a careful man ended up paying it twice in 12 months, exactly as the rules intended. So how does the Medicare hospital deductible actually work? Why isn't it once a year like every other deductible you've known? And how can you end up paying it more than once? Today, in plain English, I'll explain a piece of Medicare that surprises almost everyone. This video covers the Part A hospital deductible and the benefit period. It does not cover the full list of 2026 costs, which we've done separately, or Medicare Advantage plans, which work differently. Here's the idea that changes everything, and it has a name most people have never heard: the benefit period. Medicare's hospital side, Part A, doesn't measure your hospital costs by the calendar year. It measures them in benefit periods. And a benefit period begins the day you're admitted as an inpatient, and it ends only after you've gone 60 days in a row without any inpatient hospital or skilled nursing care. Not January to December. A clock that starts when you're admitted and resets only after 60 quiet days. Now here's why that matters to your wallet. In 2026, the Part A hospital deductible is $1,736, and you pay it for each benefit period, not each year. So picture Frank, spring hospital stay. A benefit period begins, he pays the deductible. He recovers, and more than 60 days pass with no inpatient care. That benefit period closes. Then, in the fall, he's admitted again. A brand new benefit period begins, and the deductible applies all over again. 2 benefit periods in 1 year means 2 deductibles. The calendar had nothing to do with it. And there's a line in Medicare's own rules that makes it stark. There's no limit to the number of benefit periods you can have. In theory, someone with several separated hospital stays in a single year could trigger the deductible more than twice. It's uncommon. Most people have 1 stay, 1 benefit period, 1 deductible. But the ceiling everyone assumes exists, a once a year and you're done, simply isn't there. Part A was built around the stay, not the year. And the benefit period isn't only a hospital idea. It stretches to skilled nursing too. If you move from the hospital into a skilled nursing facility for covered care, that's the same benefit period continuing, not a new one. The 60-day clock still has to run out with no inpatient care before a new period and a new deductible can begin. That's why 2 events that feel separate to you can be 1 benefit period to Medicare, and why 2 that feel close together can actually be 2. The calendar in your head and the clock in Medicare's rules are simply measuring different things. Let me fill in the rest of the Part A picture, because the benefit period shapes all of it. Once you've paid that deductible, days 1 through 60 in the hospital cost you nothing more. If a stay runs long, days 61 through 90, you pay $434 a day in 2026. And beyond 90 days, you dip into what are called lifetime reserve days at $868 a day, and you only get 60 of those for your entire life. Every one of those figures is tied to the benefit period, and every one resets to a new deductible when a new benefit period begins. There's a reason the rule is built this way, even if it stings. A benefit period is meant to wrap around a single episode of serious illness, the hospital stay, and the recovery that follows it, and to reset only once you've truly been back on your feet for a stretch, which is what the 60 clear days are meant to prove. It's not designed to punish a second illness. It's designed to treat a genuinely new illness as new. That logic is fair enough on paper. It just collides hard with a lifetime of yearly deductibles, which is why it blindsides almost everyone. It's worth pausing on how counterintuitive this is, because that's exactly why it catches people. Every other deductible in your life, your car insurance, your old work plan, resets on January 1st. You budget around that. Your brain files deductible under once a year. Medicare's Part A quietly files it under once per stay cluster and never sends a memo. So a second hospital bill in the same year doesn't just cost money, it feels like an error, and people waste energy fighting a charge that's actually correct. So if you can't change the rule, what can you actually do about it? More than you'd think. The main move is protection you may already have or can consider: a Medicare supplement plan, a Medigap policy. Several Medigap plans cover that Part A hospital deductible for you. So even if a second benefit period opens and the deductible applies again, the plan absorbs it instead of your savings. This is one of the clearest reasons people carry Medigap. It turns an unpredictable, possibly repeating hospital deductible into a steady monthly premium you can plan around. If you're on original Medicare with no supplement, a second stay is a second full deductible, straight from your pocket. And there's a calmer, non-financial takeaway too. Knowing about the benefit period means the second bill won't blindside you or send you into a stressful fight with the billing office over a charge that's actually right. Understanding a rule doesn't always change what you owe, but it changes how the bill lands. I understand why this is here, and I planned for it, is a very different afternoon than, this has to be a mistake, let me spend 3 hours on the phone. Clarity is its own kind of protection. Have you or a family member ever been surprised by a second hospital deductible in the same year? Now you know the reason. Tell me in the comments. It helps other people brace for it before it happens. Picture the heavier version too, so none of it surprises you. Someone with a long, complicated stay could pay the deductible, then move into the day 61 and beyond range at $434 a day, and in a rare case, reach into those lifetime reserve days at $868 a day, the 60 you only ever get once. Stack a second, separate stay later in the year on top of that with its own fresh deductible, and you can see how a single hard year on original Medicare with no supplement gets expensive, quietly and legally. This is precisely the shape of cost a Medigap plan exists to flatten. There's a sharp corner here that ties to another Medicare trap. A benefit period only begins when you're formally admitted as an inpatient. If the hospital keeps you under observation, technically an outpatient, even overnight, that stay doesn't start a Part A benefit period at all, and it doesn't count toward the deductible or toward the days that unlock nursing care afterward. So the same system that can charge the deductible twice can also, in the observation case, quietly leave you without Part A protection when you assumed you had it. One word on your chart sets the whole thing in motion. So here's what to do. First, retire the idea that the Medicare hospital deductible is yearly. It's per benefit period, and a benefit period only closes after 60 days without inpatient care. Second, if you're on original Medicare, look hard at whether a Medigap plan that covers the Part A deductible fits your budget, because it's exactly this kind of repeating cost it's built to smooth out. Third, if a second hospital bill shows up in the same year, don't panic and don't assume it's wrong. Check whether a new benefit period began, because it very likely did. And if you want help understanding your own Part A costs or comparing Medigap plans that cover this deductible, your state health insurance assistance program, your SHIP counselors, will do it with you for free. Nothing to sell. Reach them or Medicare at 1-800-MEDICARE. Because Frank's second bill wasn't a billing error, and it wasn't bad luck. It was a rule that measures time in a way none of us are trained to expect. Learn what a benefit period is, and a bill that once looked like a mistake becomes something you can see coming and plan around. So tell me below, did you think the Medicare hospital deductible was once a year? If this cleared it up, subscribe. Next, we look at what to do when your Medicare drug plan denies a prescription right at the pharmacy counter. This is general information, not financial advice and not medical advice, and we are not affiliated with Medicare, so always check your own situation. I'm glad you're here. I'll see you in the next one.